It is Good Friday, 1977. Outside All Souls Church in London, the air is cold and the city looks gray. Inside, an exiled bishop sits quietly in the pews, trying to pray while his homeland bleeds from a brutal dictatorship. His name is Festo Kivengere. A few weeks earlier, he had fled Uganda under the cover of darkness. The military dictator, Idi Amin, had already murdered Festo's friends and colleagues. Sitting in the safety of London, Festo is realizing he has a second, deeply rooted problem, a suffocating, growing hatred toward the man who took everything from him. Up at the pulpit, the preacher begins reading from the Gospel of Luke, specifically the words Jesus spoke from the cross. "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." These words torment Festo's conscience. He is a shepherd of God, a man who has spent decades preaching grace. But how exactly are you supposed to preach the gospel of forgiveness to a tyrant with blood on his hands? To understand why this struggle almost broke him, we have to go back to 1919, to the misty, volcanic hills of Kigezi in southwestern Uganda. Before he was a bishop, Festo was just a boy tending his grandfather's calves. He grew up attending a local mission school, where he would sit in the dirt and casually read the Gospel of Luke. He knew the words, but they didn't hold any real weight. By the 1930s, a massive spiritual movement called the East African Revival swept through the region. People were publicly confessing sins, returning stolen property, and reconciling with old enemies. Festo, however, violently rejected it. He and his uncle spent afternoons drinking and mocking the believers. There is a heavy irony in his baptismal name. He was named after Festus, the Roman governor in the book of Acts, who listened to the Apostle Paul preach the gospel, but flatly refused to yield his life to it. Growing up surrounded by hymns, Bible verses, and religious tradition does not actually guarantee anything. He knew all the right words, but his heart remained entirely closed. The turning point arrived on a narrow, dusty road. Festo was cycling home when a friend skidded to a halt in front of him. The friend confessed his own sins, apologized for the way they used to live, and then asked one simple, piercing question. "Festo, where are you?" That question broke through his resistance. Festo went home, unable to even light his pipe because his hands were shaking so badly. He dropped to his knees and experienced a profound vision of Jesus on the cross, a moment that simultaneously exposed his deep guilt and overwhelmed him with infinite love. The bitter skeptic disappeared. In his place emerged a fiery evangelist. Festo began traveling on foot from village to village, sleeping in dirt floor huts, and preaching a radical message of reconciliation. Over the next few decades, his ministry expanded globally. He translated for crowds of 100,000, built bridges across racial divides during the apartheid era, and partnered with major international figures. And eventually, he earned a distinct moniker, the Billy Graham of Africa. Festo's entire identity and his entire life's work were now completely dependent on the absolute power of grace and forgiveness. He believed that no one was beyond redemption. That belief would be violently tested in 1971. A military officer named Idi Amin seized power, immediately plunging Uganda into a state of brutal dictatorship, paranoia, and mass executions. The danger became tangible for Festo in 1973. Inside the Kabale Stadium, 3 falsely accused men stood chained, facing a firing squad in front of a terrified crowd. Festo was given permission to walk out onto the dry grass and preach to the condemned men in their final moments. But when he reached them, he realized he didn't need to preach. The men had already found Christ in their prison cells. They faced the rifles with radiant peace, and instead of Festo ministering to them, they ministered to him, raising their chained hands in joy before the shots rang out. By February 1977, Amin's regime directly targeted the church. The government summoned and arrested the highest-ranking Anglican leader in the country, Archbishop Janani Luwum. Before he was taken away, the Archbishop turned to Festo and delivered his chilling final words. "They are going to kill me. I am not afraid." The next day, the government announced the Archbishop had died in a staged car accident. He had actually been shot. Knowing his name was next on the hit list, Festo and his wife fled. They drove as far as their car could go, and then walked through the freezing night, navigating the mountain paths of his childhood until they crossed the border into Rwanda. Festo survived. He saved his physical life by going into exile, but it came at a devastating cost. He left behind his flock, his home, and his internal peace. Which brings us back to that cold Good Friday in London. Safe in the pews, Festo is fighting a silent war in his own heart. He is suffocating under the weight of his hatred for Idi Amin. Sitting there, he recognizes the theological trap closing around him. If Idi Amin's terror causes Festo's heart to harden with bitterness, then the dictator wins a second time. Amin would have taken his country and then destroyed his soul. As the preacher reads Luke chapter 23, Festo is forced to confront the crucifixion. He hears Jesus say, "Father, forgive them," and suddenly he imagines Idi Amin as one of the very soldiers driving the nails into Christ's hands. Festo looked at the cross and saw a love without an asterisk. Jesus would never have prayed, "Forgive them all except for Idi Amin." That thought stripped Festo of any right to hold on to his own vengeance. He understands now that true forgiveness doesn't mean ignoring justice or pretending that murder is acceptable. It means actively placing vengeance in God's hands to secure your own spiritual freedom. He put that forgiveness into print almost immediately. Still in exile, Festo published a small book detailing the regime's crimes and his own transformation. He titled it, I Love Idi Amin. In April 1979, Amin's regime finally collapsed. Festo returned to Uganda, stepping off the plane to a crowd of 10,000 people. The next day, he preached a message of reconciliation to a massive, joyful gathering of 25,000 believers. Festo was a master storyteller, and he often shared a simple parable to explain his life's work. He would say that if you ever wonder what God does all day long, the answer is easy. He spends his entire day mending broken things. To Festo, the cross was the only tool capable of repairing the damage Amin had done, allowing a survivor to walk back into his homeland with a heart that had been made whole.